everybody, and welcome back. We are on day 14 of 30 Days of Recovery. My name is Travis the Featherhawk Snyder, and I am a person in long-term recovery. I am also the founder of the Skook Recovers. And what long-term recovery means for me is I haven't had a mind or mood-altering chemical for over 5 years. And so here we are. For anyone that's tuning in for the first time, 30 Days of Recovery is a little project that I started for the month of August, where I'm going to be choosing a topic every day and talking about it, how it relates to my recovery, my life, and with the goal of really, reaching people out here in our community in Schuylkill County. Just going to be sharing simply and humbly based off of my life experience. And so here we are on day 14. We're almost halfway through, and wow, I got a lot of topics to pick yet. 16 more to go after today. So I'm just going to talk about today, where I'm at, day 14, and talk about not every topic is going to be like this big bubbly positive one. Let's talk about anxiety today. First and foremost, when I talk about anxiety, I think we can all relate to this. I don't know many people in my life that are living anxiety free. So when it comes to anxiety, the first thing I can think of is deep breath. Deep breaths. I can honestly tell you that my anxiety today is not even comparable to the type of anxiety that I had during my addiction and the type of anxiety that I was giving the people that love me. Two totally different types of anxiety. I'm very blessed and grateful for a great source of love that I call God, for, just opening my heart to that love and allowing that idea of love to expand in my heart, and what that has done to relieve and heal all sorts of negative anxiety. Now, I still get anxiety today, and I think when it comes to anxiety and recovery and in life, I think, like for me personally, I'm just going to share on from my personal experience, is having the ability to recognize where the anxiety is coming from, but also almost like having a little playbook, a little bit of preparation, a little bit of self-awareness to understand how to deal and cope with anxiety, curb the anxiety, find out where it's coming from, and then ways to deal with it. Today in my recovery, I can honestly say that most of my anxiety really comes from personal expectations and a lot of deep care and concern for the projects I'm involved in, and for the people that I know, and the people that I've met through this recovery project and through many parts of my life. And just really having just an incredible motivation to want to do a lot of things all at once. And I personally recognize that a lot of my personal anxiety comes from, really thinking I can do everything. It's not, and I like to see happy people. I like to see people living healthy, good lives. I like to see progress on all fronts, on all businesses, and all the brands and things that I'm involved in. And that's just a heavy load to carry. And, on any given day, a lot of things can happen. But truthfully, I think recognizing that, like at this point in my life, in recovery, living a very healthy, mindful life, productive life, one that's involved in, the betterment of my community, people around me, and my relationships. I think about the anxiety where it comes from, and it's usually just like weird things, financial stuff, and ultimately stuff that can find ways to fix these things through hard work and determination, and a lot of patience and a lot of persistence also. And that really, in the bigger picture, that a lot of these things aren't necessarily things that should bring great anxiety when you start to understand the bigger picture in life, the things that go beyond our daily activities. And when I talk about that, I mean in the spiritual part of life, which to me, the great deal of my life is very spiritual. And I always remind myself of the bigger picture when it comes to, the anxiety. I try and take those deep breaths. Another way that I cope with anxiety in my recovery is I have those outlets: running, or working out, really just stretching that lung muscle, stretching the lungs out, having something to do. Like at the gym I go to, they have a tire. You can beat it with a sledgehammer. I can run on the treadmill. I can do the ropes. I can, go outside, run on the obstacle course. Whatever it is, lift heavy weights, lift a ton of heavy weights, just whatever. It's just a great way to really relieve anxiety and stress. I know that's a difficult thing to do, is to pick yourself up and want to actually go out and do it. And not everybody's physically capable, but there's other ways to relieve anxiety. But I think it comes to targeting it and where it comes from, and then having that playbook ready to go. Like for me, deep breaths, gratitude, prayer, meditation, humbling myself, and just kind of repeating the cycle of positive things in my mind, and always reminding myself of the bigger picture. The playbook for me also is that physical aspect. What can I do to really get this anxiety, this nervousness out of me? Can I go run? Can I scream? Can I yell? Can I put on some loud music? Can I take a long drive in my car? Can I take a long walk? Can I take a run with music? Could I, whatever it is, something that, I think we all have something that can really help to. It's not about just ending it like flipping a switch. It's really about recognizing our anxiety, where it comes from, and how to really just tone it down. And so, what works for one person may not work for another. I can tell you though, today I'm super grateful that I do have anxiety, because I used to cover that anxiety up with drugs and alcohol or whatever it was. I used to mask it. And there's a lot of, you can medicate your way out of anxiety all you want, but it just keeps coming back tenfold. Like for me personally, no matter how many drugs I have, eventually I was going to have the anxiety. I never had enough, and I could never self-medicate enough to remove the anxiety that was brought on by living in that lifestyle and doing using drugs and alcohol, and just bringing in just tons of negative energy into my being. So I'm grateful for that today, that I don't have to experience that type of anxiety. So truthfully, when I get anxiety today, I kind of have to I have to shrug it off. I really have to have that talk with myself and be like, look, man, it's gonna be all right. Take some breaths, go work out, take a run, scream, yell, whatever you got to do, punch a punching bag, something just to get out of you. So that's just what I wanted to share when it comes to anxiety. And I know I'm different from everyone out there. How I really cope with anxiety is different from what other people might do. But so that's it. Just briefly wanted to share on that. And I don't know, it's just and here's another thing, because even in my addiction, I used to convince myself that I had anxiety, and that was a diagnosis, and I needed to be prescribed Xanax, or I needed to be prescribed benzos because I have anxiety. And come to find out, after I got clean and I started to heal, that wasn't the case. A lot of the mental health stuff that I was totally convinced of eventually was healed, and come to find out I didn't have any of that stuff, and so I didn't need any medications. And so that comes with the process of recovery, and the process of self-healing, and the process of introducing a lot of great, incredible love and into our hearts on a daily basis. And so that's it for day 14, talking about anxiety. As a matter of fact, just talking about this for the last 10 minutes has just relieved a ton of my anxiety. So I'm grateful for that today. Thank you for everybody for tuning in and taking the time to listen. And we will see you tomorrow with another topic and another episode of 30 Days of Recovery. Peace, and have a safe and happy evening, everyone. Good night.